Eberflus and Ryan Poles had a very interesting press conference today, along with a former Chicago Bear, former Pro Bowler Eddie Jackson signing with the Baltimore Ravens. We will be here breaking these two things down right here on Chicago Sports Talk Michael's channel. So, what's up, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk Michael back at it with another video talking, of course, the Chicago Bears. Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles had a lot of interesting things to say in their press conference regarding how Caleb's development is going and what the long-term goal is. So, Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles were answering a lot of questions regarding to of how they're going to build up their team for further success. So we're going to be watching these videos one by one. Shout out to Caleb Williams fan club. This is where I get my shorts majority of the time.
Playing him more than you would a normal quarterback in preseason.
So this is basically Matt Eberflus commenting on Caleb Williams playing in the preseason.
Trying to get him ready to start.
Yeah, we talked about that in the spring a little bit, looking back at what some other guys have done in the past. And yeah, we certainly want to do that. And we'll take that week to week. But there's value in really all the reps when you think about it, because he's going to be going against the one defense. In preseason games, you don't get all the looks sometimes that you would get during practice. So I think there's equal value to going against the ones, every single day, and also getting some of those preseason reps as well.
So Caleb Williams, it's very important that Caleb gets preseason snaps. And I've been saying this, start him the Hall of Fame game, start him the Hall of Fame game to the end of the preseason just so he can get his reps. The issue with the previous regime is that they never gave the quarterback one the starting reps. Mitch Trubisky got was always on the second team. Justin Fields was on the second team, and Caleb already from the get-go is already competing against the one. So obviously, even though preseason to me, it doesn't matter to me because the games don't matter. To a development for a rookie, it does matter because they get the experience going to the NFL speed and knowing how to do the pre-snap and see what they can do. Yes, you're not going to go up against the best competition, but what better way to do it than to start off in the preseason? So Ryan Poles was asked. Ryan Poles was asked about, his goals for this building the team. He says, our goal is to win the Super Bowl and take the division. So
Backed away from it. Our goal is always to win the Super Bowl and to take the division. And I feel like we're continuing to get closer and closer to that. So I'm excited.
Obviously, Ryan Poles knows a thing or two about winning a Super Bowl because if y'all don't know Ryan Poles' history, he was a vice consecutive for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was a part of their building the team to go to that Super Bowl. Keep in mind, folks, Ryan Poles was a big reason why Andy Reid drafted Patrick Mahomes. The team wanted, from what I heard, to keep Alex Smith, but Ryan Poles was like, no, Andy Reid, if you're gonna stick with Alex Smith and you got this kid with Patrick Mahomes who's a talent, so draft him, sit him for a year with Alex Smith, and you're gonna see how he's turned special. And obviously the kid is doing good in his early success in his career. So Ryan Poles knows a thing or two about how to develop the right quarterback. And he also made a comment about Caleb Williams passionate. So here we go.
What have you learned about the uniqueness of his personality over the last few months and how outside the box of a thinker he is, maybe even in the contract negotiations?
Yeah, I think first of all, he's a really bright kid. I think he has the ability, when you see him interact with his teammates, to interact and have relationships with everybody. Very mature in the way he approaches things. I would say the thing that stands out the most that gets everyone excited is well, actually two things: his passion for the game and his work ethic is outstanding. The kid's a grinder and wants to be great, but it's always nice to see the work ethic match the desire to be great.
So he talks about during the contract negotiations and the kid, he talks about him being passionate enough and him and his grind to want to be great. Notice how he didn't say, "Oh, Caleb asked for a no franchise tag level." I know there were people, speculating that Caleb demanded that, and the Bears declined it. I really didn't think too much of it, but like I said, I think with this, it pretty much confirms that there were no back and forth issues with Caleb Williams with his rookie deal. So also DJ Moore had a comment about Caleb Williams as well.
Spring about you guys getting to know Caleb getting to know you as people. But when you got on the field with him and you've worked with him, what did you learn about who he is as a quarterback?
Straight off the back, he's just a leader. He took control of the huddle. His arm talent was amazing. I think that's what stood out to everybody. And him trying to make all those throws this offseason and OTAs was like, dang, he really just made that or he just did that on the run. And it was amazing to see. And I'm looking forward to seeing it in full speed against the defense with pads and stuff. So I'm looking forward to spring.
All right, so if you already don't know, the pads come on next Saturday. And DJ Moore gave a comment about Caleb Williams, saying that he starts off the bat. He talks about how, his availability as a leader, and he took control of the huddle, and his arm talent was amazing. Now, DJ Moore is a guy that's been with a lot of quarterbacks. Cam Newton, Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, Baker Mayfield, PJ Walker, and Justin Fields, who he came off of a career year on. So the question is, does DJ Moore continue to do even better, or does he regress? And he already said a lot of good things. He said this about Caleb is he throws the ball with anticipation, which was the issue for the last quarterback. Caleb is throwing with anticipation. So that was the big knock on Justin Fields. So,
From the beginning, you haven't tried to tamp down expectations or anything. If anything, you've embraced and inflated the expectations. How will you keep perspective when inevitably there's some rough days out there on the practice field and training camp?
Yeah. I've had rough days. I expect myself to go out there. I think I'm the toughest on myself. I go out there and I'll mess up a play. I've thrown a pick in mini camp and things like that. Being tough on myself, but also having an understanding of where we are and where I am, and the progression, like I said before, is key. Those bad times, it's not a time to have self-doubt. That's just a waste of time. It's a time to keep growing, keep progressing, and keep believing in yourself.
From the beginning, you haven't tried to.
He talks about always being a leader and always taking accountability for a bad day. Caleb Williams had his struggles in Bears OTAs, but the good thing is, one, it's OTAs, and two, Caleb being a good leader in him, always learning from those mistakes that he made. So,
Thank you. The Bears.
They always leave a note when they say the Bears.
Thank you. The Bears.
And also, Caleb Williams is expected to play 45 to 55 reps in the preseason. So that should be enough reps to get him ready. So, but the big news, I want to get into it, and I know a Ravens fan. Oh, sorry. Spelled his name wrong. So, Eddie Jackson. So, A Raven-type move, two-time Pro Bowler Eddie Jackson reached an agreement today with Baltimore on a one-year deal. A safety with 6 defensive touchdowns for the Bears now will bring his talents to Baltimore. What are my thoughts exactly on this? Well, shout out to Eddie Jackson for going to a team that's a Super Bowl contending team, aka the Baltimore Ravens. I do think he will thrive well on the Ravens because if Roquan Smith can thrive, Eddie Jackson can thrive as well. But the problem with Eddie Jackson, the only thing I'm going to give him a knock on is his consistency and barring injuries, because there was a reason why Eddie Jackson didn't do enough to earn another year with the Bears. Because of his consistency, which Eddie Jackson did get burned a lot. And basically, his availability wasn't there because there was a time period where Eddie Jackson missed a lot of time, and our rookie Elijah Hicks that year was outperforming him. The Eddie Jackson that we all knew and loved since 2018 is not that good anymore. But I'm happy that Bro is going to go to a team that's stacked and ready to go to possibly win a Super Bowl. Yeah, it's a one-year deal, but Eddie Jackson, bro, get that ring, baby. Get that ring. Like I said, I have nothing but love for Bo Jack, just like I have nothing but love. Well, I don't necessarily agree with how Roquan handled the Bears trade negotiations. Even though I don't agree, I still respect Roquan as a player, just like I respect Eddie Jackson as a player. And I think this was a solid move for the Ravens. I do think he's going to thrive because that defense with Baltimore, even though that they did lose, I'm trying to think of his thing. It was the Seahawks coach. Oh, Mike McDonald. So even though they did lose their coordinator, I do think that defense is going to be dominant for many years to come, and Eddie Jackson is just adding to the piece of building that very good defense. So, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, can we give a congratulations for Eddie Jackson for getting signed to a team? And we all know, hopefully, if he's in the Super Bowl, we root for Eddie Jackson to win the Super Bowl, unless it's against the Chicago Bears. So, anyways, that's basically my thoughts on the two individual topics. Let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles' press conference? And also give a shout out to Eddie Jackson in the comment section down below. Go get that ring, Bo Jack. So this is the Chicago Sports Talk, Michael.